Most of my job, Nathan, is psychology. Like, yes, I have technical skills. I've got experience running projects as both a superintendent, a project manager, and being a director. But the vast majority of what I do is psychology. Working with people to understanding where they are, understanding what their drives and motivations are, and then being respectful of what that is, not to force my way on them, but to work with them so that we can achieve something greater together than if we went as individuals. And so the thing that I love about skeptics, and skeptics, if you're out there, I have a special place in my heart for you. I learn the most and grow the most with people that use the N word on me. And no, Jeff, you won't have to bleep this out. It's the word no. So people that tell me no or no thank you, for the polite people, I learn so much more in engaging in dialogue with them than the people that say, yes, let's do it. Yeah, yes, let's do it. We're going to have a lot of fun together. But for the skeptics, I try to find out, what is their current system like? How are they operating? I know they're suboptimal, especially if if they've only had hard bid experience. Like, it can be brutal having to work and survive that treacherous experience where you're basically treated like a thief. And everybody listening, you know what I'm talking about. You've been in the meeting where the architect or the designer, the engineer, civil engineer, even a lighting designer, almost like they're trained in school, Nathan, to protect the owners from dangerous contractors trying to just steal every dollar and penny possible. That permeates from academia to the workforce. And we feel that in meetings. You'll hear people make these little comments and you're like, wait a minute, I'm not a thief. I haven't stolen from you yet. Right? You made this hard bid contract where I've got to change order everything that's not in the drawing. Like, yep. I've told people, if you only have hard bid experience, you can still have a very high lean intensity even in that project delivery. But don't forget that the client wants that type of experience. And hard bid, the code word, the code phrase to be successful is see picture, build picture. Everything else is a request for income, baby. And the collaborative method, the benefits to the client, or even in the design build method, is you have faster time to market for their solution. Less change orders. The costs, sometimes people say the costs in these higher collaborative ways are way more expensive. When you do a total cost analysis, even just looking at first cost, you're shifting some of the costs that you will pay anyway in change orders earlier, and you're getting exponentially more value as the client, so you can get to market faster. Which, if you're a client, if you're a building capital projects owner, you don't care about construction. You care about what you do with the buildings that you have or the infrastructure that you need. Nobody wants longer construction duration except for people working on cost plus.
Well said.
Okay, Jeff's got so many ideas right now. Come on, Jeff.
Well, you hit a few things that I want to unpack, because I agree with you, obviously, on the design bid build world and the adversarial relationship that is created for us. And what I wanted to unpack is there are a lot of people out there with only that experience, right? Design bid build. And my
it's more
experience,
than half. It's the vast majority of the United States of contracts, the vast majority.
Yeah. And I was also laughing because this is what happens when you actually give the guest the homework to do. So they read the articles ahead of time. So like he's actually giving you a foreshadowing, which is awesome.
Really teeing it up for me.
Just teeing it up. But what I have found, Felipe, that I think, you know, I now know why our careers, I think, and as people, when we sit down to talk, we follow the same road, because I'm actually not that smart in IT, and that's probably not surprising most people that listen in, but because I was never really fixing IT, it was always people, right? It was always, how do you get them comfortable with the change that's being implemented? How do you get them to articulate the problems that they're having with the system, and then to realize that, hey, look, you're really smart at IT, but they're really smart at accounting, at, you know, building things, scaffolding, whatever it might be. So we have that similar piece, but something I've noticed psychologically as I watch teams move from design, bid, build into any of the collaborative delivery methods is they bring those scars and wounds with them.
Yep.
And it goes to a quote you hear on this show all the time from DJ Phipps. Communication is contractual, collaboration is cultural. And I have met with enough IPD teams and progressive design build teams to know it's not a panacea, because it's about the culture. And I'm wondering if in your process, have you learned anywhere that you can really, help people move through that? Or is there any tips for people trying to
Yeah.
move through that?
Here's a tip for anybody, regardless of your current contract type. Survey your team and just ask if it's on schedule, on budget, or perceived as a successful project. And then let them answer in such a way that they have to answer all at the same time, like you would for good brainstorming. And then react as a group to what people say. You will find out that it's all over the place. You'll find out that somebody on your team will know if it's on schedule or on budget. I've yet to find a team, Jeff, where everybody knows that answer definitively, but the team seeing together starts to align, and this is where you're going to influence the culture. Because all the magic in just asking that in a way where you brainstorm, dump it all at the same time, is you kind of unload people's perspectives, and then you can react to it in a fast reflection. Now, from that, you've now set the stage for people to speak honestly and openly. And if you're the one person on the team, you're like, we're not on schedule. You can now speak up because you've shown it. It's visually there to everybody. There's one person, we have a 10-person team. One person says we're not on schedule. That's a good data point. Like that's a signal. The 9 people that said we're on schedule, that's noise. So now you can unpack that as a team, have a real conversation. Someone can say the emperor has no clothes, and now you can take actions to remediate and change what you're doing. The number one thing that you can do from those conversations is find out what's hurting people, frustration, fear, anxiety, what doubts do people have, and then you can help people avoid the pain. Pain avoidance it's like the vodka of social interactions. It's a social lubricant. You tell people like, hey, we can avoid some pain. Everybody signs up for that. Nobody I know. And construction is a painful environment in the most part, but nobody I know willingly goes to pain, especially in a team setting. Individually, it's a different story, but in the team dynamic, avoiding pain is the gateway drug to collaboration, to good collaboration. And it doesn't matter what kind of contract type you have.